Hello, welcome to this LEAP interview series.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be talking to you this afternoon, sir.
Well, same here. Absolute pleasure to have you here. Could you please introduce yourself and tell us and the audience about your journey?
Okay, thank you so much. I think my journey has been a fascinating one in the three different ways. I think I've had some global impact in education and research over the years with over 38 years of academic leadership across Africa, in the US. I taught in the US. I also taught in India and other African countries. In this particular journey, I learned quite a lot also in supervision of doctoral students, more than 20 that have graduated in the PhD level, more than 200 masters that I've gone through. I've also published more than 150 research publications in international refereed journals, and a lot of conferences, more than 100 were presented. So the global impact has been quite extensive. But I also can also indicate that in addition to that, I've also had some pioneering innovation in higher education, where I've spearheaded AI-driven doctoral supervision, generative AI work in different areas based on the research that I've had over the years. And then, of course, lastly, also I talk about the strategic leadership and institutional transformation that I brought across in my past life, at some point as a Deputy Vice-Chancellor of a university, and also a leader in many areas and other international projects based in the US and Canada, and also across Africa. Maybe I would indicate that I'm quite influential continentally because I am a part of the leadership of the African Union, African Scientific and Research Innovation Council, that looks at promoting the use of innovation in science and technology across the African continent. So that has given me an opportunity to collaborate and work with more than 60 or so universities across the continent on issues to do with research. So that's the kind of background that I'm most delighted to share with you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Really impressive profile. The journey has been really inspirational, and I can see that you have contributed immensely in the field of education. And could you also tell us more about your recent workplace and the university you work for?
I am right now at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. This is one of the best universities in Africa, say number 4 in terms of the international ranking. And I'm the head of doctoral programs. So the transformative leadership that I brought also in as head of doctoral programs is that I lead strategic reforms in doctoral education, structured supervision, pedagogical supervision. But also through that, we work with the college and various schools within the university in being a global, thought leader and influence in terms of policies, and that assists quite a lot in this area. And I'm really proud to indicate that I think with the Graduate School of Business Leadership, where I'm the director and head of doctoral programs, there are a lot of innovative ideas of bringing across that are transforming doctoral education, some of which include the introduction of doctoral research clinics that we give to our doctoral students to empower them, help them to do the work very well, and also training and supervision, but most importantly, how we interface what we do at the university with the corporate world. Those are the areas that I'm involved in, and I also take leadership in those kind of spaces. But I think there are some of the things that are bringing some institutional transformation and as well as also value-adding contributions to the university. Yeah, thank you.
That's really amazing. That's fantastic. Well, from the perspective of education and in the context of education in your country, let me reduce the scope to your country. How do you see that education is changing from what it was 5, 10 years ago. Do you see a change in happening in the way the education is evolving?
Yes, this is quite a very important question. I think education is changing here in South Africa and also the African continent generally because of a number of things. I think right now the employment environment, the corporate world is interested now in specific skills and competencies and attitudes that must come from our universities, that must come from higher education. So there is an express demand for higher competencies, ways in which employability becomes important. And I would hasten to say also that now the increasing thrust which you are driving, especially if here at University of KwaZulu-Natal, is to ensure then that entrepreneurship and ability to get graduates who come out of the university well prepared, not only for employment purposes, but are also able to create employment where they go, where they're able to enterprise, where they're able to add value. That is one area that has become a very important area. And I've seen in some of the researches and interactions in the rest of the African continent that the emphasis now on enterprise education or entrepreneurship as part of the curriculum transformation. I think one is critical development. The other revolution that is going on is the advances in technology. These are also transforming and changing the way education used to be like. I was chatting with my students a few minutes ago that in the old days, we had very massive, big libraries with a lot of books and so on. But these days now with technology, we are able to access these things electronically in many ways. But what is happening now in terms of education here in our context is that there is more and more need for us to empower our scholars, our students, and those who work with us with digital skills and competencies, helping them to become more relevant in societies, communities, helping them to engage the communities where they come from, so that they deal with some of the sustainable development issues. But most importantly, I can add also that there is now even the governments and public institutions are expecting universities and education sector in particular to contribute to the sustainable development of our own societies. So we influence that through our curriculum. So when we talk of areas and policy issues, we want that strategic direction where whatever we are doing, we have to see that impacting positively to sustainable development so that there's better food for our own people, that there's better health. We eliminate poverty by ensuring that employability and other things. Other things now we bring in the classrooms, we bring in our schools, we bring in the education sector so that everyone is conversant and becomes a player throughout, not only when they're still in school or universities, but even after that, when they go to the communities, we are challenging them. That's why even they go to the communities, the focus these days, even at postgraduate level, is the focus on enterprise, the ESG issue to ensure then that the environment and the sustainability, the governance issues, which are quite critical in public sector and many other places become important. So ESG has become an important factor, and in our curriculum and the way we do it and the way we are transforming it from school level all the way to universities is to now to bring those realities closer to the learners so that they are well prepared to handle the challenges they face, not only locally here in South Africa or within Africa, but also the global village, because we have become more like one global village in every respect. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. You mentioned about the digital skills.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate what digital skills you think are important?
Okay. You see, with the digital skills, we are looking at starting off the fundamental levels of computer literacy for our communities, our own people, to ensure that people are able to use computer technology to understand, to navigate, to be able to access information. Some of our mothers in the villages and urban areas, they use mobile phones and many things. I think it starts off from basic computer or basic literacy on how to use and access digital facilities, but we also want to elevate that now these days now with the use of AI. It's not only just accessing a computer or a mobile phone, but how to use it to improve your business. Even if you are an SME running your own business and so on, we empower, like what are things that we're doing, which I was involved last year at this university, was also to train SMEs using some of these so some of these SMEs are ordinary people. Some of our own children who just come from high school, who probably are not going all the way to universities, but they want to create their own business. So we teach them those skills to be able to navigate, use AI, use technology to strengthen their business, to be able to offer services online and many things. So we teach them all the way on how they relate to the customers and environment and that using technology in an interdisciplinary manner.
Okay. Wow, fantastic. I think, I can see that you're a man with so much of knowledge. Obviously, you are in that position and you are helping people become the doctors, doctorates. I think so. Needless to say that you're actually surrounded by the people who are constantly hungry for knowledge, who have knowledge, and obviously you are definitely having the impressive journey. And today you're sitting at the head position where you are able to contribute and transform whichever institution you are part of, which is amazing to see. Any words that you want to say to the students today?
Yes, I think to the students, what I encourage them and I always impress upon them is that it's important to focus on lifelong learning, that we continue to learn in life, and let's apply education, let's apply and also use modern technology in the transformation, not only for education, but transformation of the communities and add value. I think it's important to challenge ourselves so that we strengthen and extend what we've learned to the point where we can continuously be adding value through lifelong learning, strengthening and ensuring that wherever we are, we make a difference. And to be researching also in those areas so that we continue to have a fusion of some visionary leadership and so scholarly excellence combined together so that there is strategic foresight. And I always emphasize for the students in particular to have, let's have a very good focus on the future, because the only way we can change Africa or the world one person at a time is by also using education, by sharing our knowledge, by continuously learning and develop many things in the world entire community. If we can establish global hubs of innovation with ethical leadership, our future will be much better than what it is. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I think you summarize it so really well that my next question actually was to ask your advice to the educational institutions in Africa. What would be your advice to the educational institutions? They're doing a lot of things, but I'm sure you are seeing there's some gap, some activity that they are not doing. And because of your knowledge, you can probably help them in understanding this is what they need to do to grow.
Yeah. I think that there are three important things for educational institutions in Africa, in particular, to take care of based on my extensive work across the continent. I think the first thing is to expand on international collaboration. Expansion and international collaboration is important for institutions in Africa and beyond, so that we connect the global south, the global north, and also connect among ourselves. We do much better when we are working as bigger teams collaboratively. We sharpen ourselves, as we often say in our communities, iron sharpens iron. We are able then to come up with better position as we collaborate at community level all the way to continental levels. That's the first thing. And then the second thing also for educational institutions is also for us to strengthen our the governance structures and research work and promote in particular innovation I think innovation is critical, and if we can promote, identify it, and encourage even upcoming young people, give them the space, support them. Innovation is critical, and I think for the future of Africa, if we can be promoting that, and this is what I've seen extensively in some of the work I do as part of the advisory board of the African Union. Innovation is something that we want to see solving our own problems in many ways, but globally, we also need to encourage more of open science approaches, areas where we have to make the knowledge easily accessible, digital equity, ensuring that those who have developed certain knowledge is always a good thing to share with those who don't have access. Those who have certain resources, let's share those with less resources. That kind of open science approach will actually make even the countries that are way behind catch up, and those that have done certain things, they share what they do. So in that way, just like a family, one of the siblings may not doing so well, but the big brother or big sister can also pull up the other one to say, let's, as a family, let's do that. And I think globally, we need to do that through research, through conferences, through various things. So let's work together in many ways and change the future and impact of this entire world. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. I think this conversation was one of the most powerful interviews that we have in LEAP series. I think there is an advice, there is insight for students, the fellow educationists, and the educational institutions as well. So I wish we had more time to go through a lot of other topics, but maybe for another day. Thank you so much for your time today.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for this discussion. It has been a great pleasure talking to you and also talking to the worldwide community. Thank you.